She wants to be the best at everything that she does. And if you are planning to take that leap of faith and follow your passion and dreams, then this episode is your cue to do so because she will motivate you with all her stories and we can't wait for it. Now, many people will know her as the founder of a brand called Nakrewali and a host of a podcast, which she will tell you more about, and many other things. She's like a really smart and funny and a pretty girl on Instagram. But trust me, I think this episode will make us believe that she has a lot more to offer. She is, one of the faculties of London College of Fashion, and I'm so excited to be in conversation with Gursakhi Logani. Hi.
Oh my god.
Such
Pretty
a
good
nice
on
description.
Instagram.
Yeah, see?
Nobody's ever said that in my intro.
It's okay.
10 on
There's always
10.
a first.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's a very Gen Z thing you've done.
I mean, technically, I am a Gen Z, so why not?
Oh, are you? How old are you?
I'm the last of the Gen Zs.
Oh, so the
Let's not
senior
disclose
most
my
Gen
age.
Z. Yeah, senior most Gen Z. No, I'm not ageist. Maybe I am.
Okay. Anyway, so this is a fashion podcast. So, it's imperative that I ask you that what are you wearing? Please describe that.
Honestly, today I'm literally coming from a meeting, so I didn't get to like dress properly. But I
No,
think
but
I'm
you
wearing
look
this.
all dressy, but casual and dressy.
I think that was the vibe, and
Yeah.
it was also raining outside, But anyway, I'm wearing a denim corset with little bling because, that adding the little touch. And then this is a linen shirt, which has a cute flower if you close it. And
Yeah.
with rainbow pants. That's what I'm wearing. Easy breezy.
Lovely, love that style. Okay, so we want to first start by asking you a little bit about Nakrewali because, like you said, it's very close to your heart, and that's where the whole journey started. So I was listening to, one of your, I think, TEDx. That was your school, right? I mean,
That was my school, yes. I
yeah.
went back to my school for my first TED Talk.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I did listen to that a bit. And, before I ask you anything, are you still scared of cockroaches? Because
Oh,
you
yes.
said in that you're scared of cockroaches.
Can you imagine? I'm still terrified of cockroaches, and it's not even funny. Like, I'm otherwise, or I pretend to be this strong, independent girl who can take the world by storm. And then you spot like a cockroach, and specifically those big, flying cockroaches.
Yeah.
I'm done. I think it's a phobia that I haven't worked on. I used to be very scared of dogs also, but अब वो ठीक हो गया है.
Yeah, but
You know,
cockroaches not
Cockroaches,
yet.
nahi.
Okay, so you said this line that I think your grandmother told you, and I want you to repeat that for our viewers because I mean, when I heard it, it really touched my heart. So please go ahead.
Correct. So I think it was more like an analogy that came out of a conversation I used to have very frequently with my nani. And मैं कुछ भी चीज़ से डरती थी तो वो मैं उनके पास जाती थी because she literally mothered me and she was the most important person in my life. And एक दिन हम ऐसे बैठे थे balcony में and आ गया cockroach. And मैं, as usual, I started crying, howling, jumping. And she looked at me and she's like, पुत्र, डरन तो नहीं डरते हैं. Do not be scared of being scared. यार इतनी छोटी सी वो बात थी but I feel like that has really, really shaped my life in a lot of ways. Every time I'm feeling scared before a decision, before a big day, before, a breakup, before a collection launch, before anything, I always think don't be scared of being scared.
Yeah, I think that's really meaningful. And, especially for those people who want to change their careers, come into fashion or go to any other field. I mean, it's always scary to do so, right? You're scared of your finances, of all that you have studied, and now you don't know what will happen to that. So multiple things. So I think this is a very important lesson for all of us. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Nani.
Yes. So just coming back to your brand. So what does exactly? I mean, the name is so fascinating, Nakrewali. So I want to understand why did you keep such a name, and does it have any particular significance, and what does the brand exactly cater to?
Correct. So I feel like, the name always gets a conversation started, which
Yeah.
I really like. The idea about keeping the name as Nakrewali, apart from, having that aesthetic, catchy ring to it, and that value that it adds, it has a very deep meaning, as we would say that hum sab bade hote hain, like nakhra is a term that we always take in a very negative connotation. Arey wo to bahut nakhra karti hai, look, she does so much drama,
Yeah.
right? And I had experiences where me or women around me specifically were tagged as, oh, ये ड्रामेबाज है, अरे उसने ऐसे किया, वो ड्रामा करती है, इसका तो रोज़ का है, you know. And not only in a very casual way relatives would say, but in a very strong way where we're making big decisions, in terms of, let's say, what our career path should be, or how we want to dress up, or how we want to get married. So I think the idea came from personal experiences of me and women around me, that I wanted to create a brand through the products. I think products are always a way of communicating what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But the meaning and the vision behind the name was that, hey, we can own all our nakras. We can truly feel, embrace ourselves unabashedly, unafraid, and just scream out our truths, right? Ye mera nakra, these are my quirks, and I'm proud of them. Right? So that was the idea behind keeping the name Nakhre Wali. And of course, the catchy part helps, in
Yeah.
cracking a conversation, whether it's been in India, whether it's outside, because we've launched in other countries as well.
So do
which
people understand this
even,
outside?
I feel like they don't.
Okay.
And they ask. And now I know how to explain it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that also gets a conversation started. Right. And I think that also kind of beautifully reflects in the kind of products that we do. They're very statement, they're very big, they're very color pop. Apart from the textile and the craft contemporization that comes to the table, which is definitely there. But, the overall aesthetic is very color pop.
Yeah.
So that also kind of screams Nakra. And not everybody has to be a maximalist and be like, oh, I want to own and I want to wear a, hot pants with a bra and a coat and that's not everyone's Nakra. But whatever your Nakra is, just like be yourself. That was the whole idea of the name.
I think the idea is great because, especially women, I mean, I don't know much about men in this context, but I think for women, they've always been told ki, oh man, like, she's too dramatic and my God, like, why is she like this? She should change. So it's great that you're doing something which helps them own that. Anyway, so coming back to London College of Fashion, see, it's like a really big name for a lot of people, and especially for fashion aspirants, like whether in India or outside. It's like a very prestigious thing. So how did this happen for you? How did you start teaching? Then what do you teach there exactly?
Correct. So I think, I don't come from any fashion education myself. I studied science back in school, and I was this nerd who would cry if she got anything less than 95%. And then, after 12th grade, I was all ready to become an engineer. And because, toppers to engineering karte hain, that's a very stereotype thing in India, or at least that was back in the day in my mind. My brother was becoming an engineer, so wo typical tha ki choti behan bhi
Did
engineer
you have
banegi.
that sibling pressure?
Not at all.
Oh,
I think it was a self-inflicted pressure. My parents were very open. They always told me that you might be smart and, getting marks and top, being the topper of the class, but, you need to look at the aptitude. Because I was a very creative person. I was doing a lot of music. I had already done Saregamapa. I had won many competitions. So I had done a lot of creative things, right? And then I'm not saying science is not creative, because logic has its own
Yeah.
creativity to it. But I was doing the other side of, the more cognitive side of creative things. So उसके बाद कॉमर्स किया, बीकॉम ऑनर्स किया, एंड करते करते then I landed up, a job at Google. That was my first job. Regular
Wow.
AdWords first, fresher job, but
I'll
cool.
stop you right there. How is it inside the Google office? I mean, I've seen some, so these content creators, sometimes they are in collaboration with Google and they go to the office and they show all the food and, the sleeping pods and like, so, I mean, I'm sure everybody has seen it from the outside, but how is it inside the Google office?
It's quite like how you explained it,
Okay.
but obviously like different cities and different Google offices are different from one another. So if you go to like the headquarters in Mountain View in San Francisco, then you'll see like,
No, I'm talking
you know,
about
but
the
you come
one in
here,
India.
right? Like, you know, you get a free MacBook from the get-go, you get free Red Bulls and like, you know, really nice buffet lunch, etc. So all of that is very fascinating, for at least for like when you're starting out, right?
Yeah.
Like I was like 20 years old or something, but I quit that job I think within the first month because they wanted to relocate me to Hyderabad, which was the headquarters within India. And I'm like, okay, I'm not even sure of what I'm doing with my professional life right now, and I wasn't ready to relocate. But anyway, so that's how I hopped onto another corporate job, and I realized that kuch missing hai. You know, I'm getting promoted. I'm probably good at what I'm doing, you know, in terms of the job that's been offered to me. And at that point, it was more like an HR marketing kind of a job role. However, you know, can I wake up and do that every day of my life? You know, is that something that's going to, you know, हमारे life में बहुत सारे crushes नहीं होते हैं. As we grow up, you know, we have a crush, number one, and then we get over it, then two, then we get over it, and then finally we make a boyfriend and we think यही हमारा तन मन धन है, you know. But then eventually that we only get married to one, or hopefully, you know, that's the hope, right?
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
I'm very open to all kinds of conclusions and outcomes in life, but that's what one hopes for, right? So I feel like I was kind of dabbling with different kind of crushes. And I landed up doing a course at London College of Fashion at that point. It wasn't a full-time...
like an online course.
No.
Achha, you went there.
Yeah, I stayed there. It was a course, but it wasn't like a undergraduate or a graduate course. So I didn't do my
like
master's.
a certificate course.
You can say a diploma.
Yeah.
Okay. And which then gave me my first fashion internship there in London. I stayed there for a bit. I came back. And then I was still doing my job. So alongside of my job, then I explored, you know, my first internship at Cosmopolitan, as I would do it over the weekends. So it's a very like full cycle that I'm sitting here, you know. But so yeah, coming back to London College of Fashion, I think that happened back in 2013. So I'm talking about, you know, almost more than 10 years ago. And I kept in touch with a few folks here and there. And I think the idea of sustainability alongside of my brand became a lot more important, not only because my brand is quintessentially sustainable and we use and throw around this world, you know, a word very callously, but मैं सच में एक ऐसा वो त्याग करके बना रही हूँ, you know, everything that we pick
तो
up.
सच में बनाने का क्या मतलब है? Like, you know, I want you to tell that.
Definitely. So सच में बनाने का ये मतलब है कि यार see, sustainability is a very double-edged sword. Right? Specifically, when you're trying to build a brand, you're saying that, hey, please buy my product, but at the same time, don't overconsume, you know, or be sustainable with your choices, right? So sustainability is, in that sense, when you're running a brand, becomes very difficult to propagate the true championing of the idea of sustainability, right? However, you know, like, with what Nakrewali is doing, where our raw material is actually refurbished waste fabric from different factories. So wahan se fabric aata hai. All our dyes that we're doing are hand dyes. You know, we try to eliminate as much plastic as possible. You know, all the women that are working for us are essentially doing vocational jobs. So we train them, then they're working for us. You know, instead of being a housewife, you know, they're doing those vocational training. So sustainability is a lifestyle, right? You know, I think this, if I really have to get into the theory of it, and I don't want to, you know, go too
let's not get
too
into
deep
the theory,
into it.
Yeah.
But sustainability ka ye matlab anything which can sustain itself to solve the needs of today, at the same time not jeopardizing the needs of tomorrow, right? Simple bhasha mein ye hai. So I think then the most sustainable garment or the piece of product that we have is something that we already own. The number of times we can re-wear it is what is the most sustainable. And the idea of sustainability in our Indian households is very common. Mummy ki saadi pehante hai, nani se hand down hota hai. We cut that sari and make it into a lehenga. What is that? That is DIY, but that's the most sustainable thing you can do. Now, at that point, it doesn't matter if it's made out of cotton or linen, even though, or lycra, right? Lycra might not be the most sustainable fabric, but ab to khareed liya, it's right there in your closet, right? So if you're refurbishing
reusing it,
and reusing it, that's the most sustainable thing you can do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so coming back to,
I think, the funny part is for Indian households, I think sustainability has always been like a big part. Like, as small as, like, you just use your old clothes as a duster, or like,
absolutely.
all those
Pocha,
things. Yeah.
like all of these things that we're doing, I think हमारे DNA में ingrained है, sustainability. But now that, when you're running a brand, so you're now behind a brand which is not a social enterprise, which doesn't it's not an NGO, right? So when you're trying to earn money, we often tend to choose our economic prosperity over our ecological prosperity, right? Now, economy is a man-made concept. हमने बनाया, we can change it. Ecological changes we can't do because it's a nature-made concept, right? So that is that little intersection where you have to, create a balance between the two. And that's what becomes harder. That's why, sustainable brands try to come. They try to occupy that space. They try to be, the climate activists along with being brands who are selling products. But not many are able to sustain themselves, and not many are able to kind of, champion both at the same time. And it's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming to like a lighter thing, just drifting away from all the heavy topic. So, you just said that you used to intern for Cosmopolitan, and surprisingly, you're in the same building. So the thing is that I know that Nandini Bhalla, like I think you called her your fairy godmother in
Correct.
some.
I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
you
So
did.
you,
Yeah.
you seem to have done a lot of research. I love that.
Yes, I have to be thorough, right?
You look like you literally picked up the right words from the right places. I love that, Priyanka.
Right.
Yeah, so Nandini, I mean,
Yeah.
when I was interning, I was essentially just like interning over the weekends for some shoot. Ki, "Arey, मेरे को free का आना है, मुझे देखना how a shoot happens." Because from the outside, as somebody who's working a corporate job, as a 20-year-old, just being at a shoot is something which is like, wow, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm at a Cosmopolitan magazine shoot, and some celebrity or some model is there.
Also, you feel all glam. Like,
You
you're
feel all
like,
glam, but when you
wow.
go to a shoot, you see the reality of the
Yeah.
business, right? Like nothing is glam behind the scenes. It's literally.
I was exactly telling, so on Instagram, somebody recently, I went to like some fashion event, and somebody texted me, ki, wow, your life is so different, life is so glamorous. And I'm like, I should actually talk about this, that what happens behind the
Behind the
scenes, because
scene.
that is not glamorous.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like, I think fashion is so misinterpreted in that
Yeah.
sense, right? But yeah, coming back to Nandini Bhalla, so I never interacted with her because those were just like couple of shoots. I never got paid for it. I don't even put it on my resume. But that's the first touch
Experience.
point I had with the idea of fashion per se. And then through that, because if you study in a fashion college, let's say you're from NIFT or Pearl or one of these, in India, you automatically have an ecosystem around you. कोई graphic designer बन रहा है, कोई कहीं job ले रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है, right? मेरे पास वो कुछ भी नहीं था. ना मेरे पास fashion education था, ना मेरे पास वो ecosystem था. And at the same time, I don't even belong to a family which is remotely related to either fashion, clothes, exports, Bollywood, entertainment, nothing, right? So for me, I was like this, noob who's just trying to be like, oh, I'm interested, I can do it, I'm a creative person. But that's about it. That was my USP, and I think I had a lot of self-belief. And kahin na kahin as a young person, कि failure हो गया तो क्या है? At the end of the day, backup option है, because I had studied enough, I could get a corporate job. So I was like, okay, I'll try this. What's the worst that can happen? I'm a smart person, कुछ तो हो ही जाएगा, So anyway, so I got invited to my first fashion week, and I dressed to impress, bro. मैंने ना curtain से साड़ी बनाया. I'll like literally go like DIY on it, and I made first earrings which were pretty much made from a wall hanging, right? And I got tapped everywhere. I was on Miss Malini and this and that, and I was like, for a 20-year-old, 20-something,
big
that
deal.
is like dream come true. And at that point, Instagram was very new. Stories didn't exist. Repost didn't exist. You just had to go and like find yourself if you've been tagged. I was on top of the world. Okay. Then next invite came in. This time around, it was India Couture Week at Taj Palace at Delhi. And now I was like, oh my God, I'm invited,
Yeah.
And like, So I didn't know anybody who I could tag along with because none of my friends were invited, and you don't get a plus one typically.
It's
When
very
you
difficult to get a plus
I was
one.
a plus one invite of somebody. That's how I
Uh-huh.
got the invite in the first place, and whatever. So I dressed up. I went to in a sari. I love saris, and I have special love for that 6 yard fabric. And I tied it like with a belt. And back then this was very new, innovative. Up though,
Yeah.
there's so many different versions in which you can literally play with that fabric. And I did that, and I wore the the pair of earrings that I thought I might launch at some point. Okay, my brand had not come alive. I had not thought of eventually actually
You were
taking the
just doing
plunge.
your own thing.
I was just doing my own thing, and वो DIY project था मेरे लिए. एंड मुझे याद है मम्मी को बोला था कि स्टिच कर दो बिकॉज मुझे सुई धागा चलाना नहीं आता था. एंड मॉम्स लाइक I'll do it for you, you know. And I went and I was walking with my friend and I see Nandini Bhalla and Barnia Qureshi walking in, and I knew both of them. Dimag mein ki, oh my God. But I didn't have the guts to like stop and talk to them. And what will I say? I'll just say hi and it'll be just awkward small talk right after. And I think show was about to start. So everybody was in that, pre-show rush. Everybody wants to queue
Madness.
up and like just get inside. Nandini happened to stop me, and of course, Pernia stopped with her, right? And she looked at me and she's like, oh, where did you get these earrings from? And I'm like, wait, is she talking to me? She really talking to me? And she was. And then she's like, I was like, hi, Nandini. I'm Gursikhi. I was kind of like a little nervous. Otherwise, I'm a very confident person, but tab thodi si fat gayi thi. I will not lie.
But it
okay?
happens if you see people in your field who are doing great stuff and then you meet them surprisingly, like it's not planned.
Correct.
You hesitate a little. You're like,
Correct.
oh, okay.
Correct.
This is not real.
No matter how confident you are, I think when you put on the spot, sometimes, you
Yeah.
lose it a little bit. So I lost it a little bit and I'm like, okay, yeah, but hi Nandini, I'm Sakhi and I made it myself. I made them myself. And she's like, oh, wow, are you selling them? I was like, no.
Not yet.
But, and before I could say anything, she's like, will you sell these to me? And can I take a picture? So she took a picture of me with the earrings, pretty close selfie, which was, I didn't like that selfie, okay? We all have our angles,
Yeah.
right? But, theek hai, chalega, take it. And then, because stories didn't exist, she posted that on her feed. And I remember she had, I think, some 50K followers back in the day,
On Facebook?
On Instagram.
On Insta.
Which was
Oh.
quite a bit
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
point, right?
yeah.
Like, now 50K probably will not be that big a number. I don't care about numbers. But anyway, now she's Nandini Bhalla, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what matters. She posted that and she wrote, young girl made earrings for herself, something.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact words. I should remember, but that was extremely flattering for someone like me. I think I hardly could even concentrate while the show was going on. I quickly rushed home and I was constantly checking, and she tagged me. And I'm looking at the comments, and the comments are like going like a long stream of pee, And I'm like, ooh, whoa. Is that something? Is this a sign from the universe? Kuch to hai. And Pernia was also standing right next. So she also appreciated, but Nandini was the one actively talking. I think that one instance, looking back, we always live life in the future, but we can always kind of like look back and connect the dots. So wo connect hua
Yeah.
dot ek.
So, actually, this is one thing that's common between you and me. So, when I joined this organization, Nandini actually took my interview, and she's technically the one who got me here.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think she's good at giving opportunities. So,
I think
yeah.
she's very good at spotting the right thing.
Yeah,
I think
the right
that's
talent. And,
right
yeah, absolutely.
opportunities, right talent. I feel like even with what she's doing now, I think she's always like, she just has that knack, which I
Yeah.
love. Apart from other things that
If she
does.
listens to this, then we have praised her a lot.
She better listen to this. I'm going to send her to her on her WhatsApp.
Yeah,
Nandini,
definitely.
please check.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Anyway, moving.
And hopefully she'll oblige.
Okay, so anyway, moving apart from that, coming back to college and fashion and everything. So I have noticed, and I've been here, so I've noticed that the education system in India, and I think for fashion it should be more practical, but I have heard that it's a lot more theoretical. And I think that's the whole education system in India. It's very theoretical. So when you teach outside, how different is it? How practical is it? What different do you do?
See, I think because let me bring this back to the idea of standardization. There's a lot of standardization that happens in this institutional way of teaching, right? Which is not only in India, but in India, most education is extremely standardized. वही book है, वही theory है. We're not looking at, what the person might be interested in, what kind of combination of subjects a kid would do from the get-go, from the school to the college, even some specific courses till the masters, right? What we're essentially doing is, this is a standard thing. Isko padho, fit into that box, and then make use of it as per your own knowledge, experience, background, and your capabilities or your interpretation, right? And I personally feel like standardization is the enemy of soulfulness. That takes away the soulfulness out of anything, right? So when you're studying outside of India, or specifically, I can talk about where I'm teaching, or the experiences that I've had, within India or outside of India. I think that practicality and that flexibility around accommodating different kinds of combinations of what you might want to learn, it is the first thing that comes into play, which makes your cognitive abilities sharper than what you would when you're just reading and going through with that very standard thing which everybody else is doing, right? So I think that is one of the major differences that I feel really shapes up and changes things in terms of what the outcome is, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all looking at that outcome, right? आज की डेट में यार education, if you want to learn something, there is so much free content available, and good one if you really look and search, right? With the whole disruption of technology coming in, we're using a lot of AI with what we're doing, right? In terms of, actually encouraging people to eliminate the working on the first draft. Say, for example, if you're a student and you're doing, let's say, a research project on psychology of consumer psychology, that's part of what I teach, right? So I will tell you, hey, listen, don't do your research from scratch. Use the tools that are available to you. Go on ChatGPT, go on Claude, do your first draft, save that time, optimize your productivity, right? And then use your originality to come up with, a narrative which will be different from the other person in the classroom, right? But India में वो बोलेंगे नहीं आप फोन बंद करो, कंप्यूटर बंद करो, दूर रख दो उसको, कैलकुलेटर तो यूज करने का ही नहीं. अरे बट कैलकुलेटर बना किस चीज के लिए? यूज करने के लिए बना है, right?
So actually this makes me think, and it's very interesting to think this way, that I have observed a lot of people here are very scared that, the AI, if they start using it and making it a daily practice, then it'll eliminate a lot of jobs. Okay.
Correct.
That's like the main concern. So whatever you are saying, how do you prove that this will not happen?
See, first of all, I'd like to say we're in a very experimental stage to even say and conclude anything. It's a debate, and it's going to be. AI is not new. It has been there for more than 100 years, right? Whenever a disruption happens, जब स्मार्टफोन आए थे तो एक पूरा आतंक मच गया था, right? Smartphone revolution is here. We've seen that revolution as millennials, from our Nokia phone to our BlackBerry to now everything that we're doing on our phone, and watches, and now even rings, our smart rings, right?
Pendants, rings, everything,
right?
yeah.
So we've seen that journey, right? So similarly with AI, I feel like I'm not an expert at that, so I will only comment as much as I know. But from what I observe and from the pulse of things, it's great from a first draft point of view, right? Because it has that set of information, and it's only going to keep getting intelligent as more data keeps getting input into the system, right? And it'll keep becoming more intelligent. But is that a threat? According to me, it's not, because now that first draft is going to be available to every person, right? So that it is democratized in that way. It's very decentralized in that way that it's going to be available to everyone, right? Humans will, in fact, now be able to utilize that smartness, that sharpness, that originality of prompting the AI better, right? I can also use GPT, you can also use GPT, for example, right? You will be putting different prompts to it, I'll be putting different, which will result in different combination of results, right? Now, whatever your result will be different than mine, but
Yeah.
we could actually achieve the same result. But what you're prompting is what is mattering, right? So coming back to will it take your job? Sadharan way mein, I feel like no. It will just make things faster, more efficient, and you'll have to learn probably a little more in terms of using AI as part of our
Upskilling
everyday
yourself.
lives, right? To be able to bring in that human element, which is the most original element, because permutation combination AI तब तक उतना ही कर सकता है जितना उसके पास डेटा है, और उसका डेटा एक पॉइंट पे लिमिटेड है, राइट? हमारा दिमाग लिमिटेड नहीं है, बिकॉज हम आंखें बंद करके सोच सकते हैं, एंड वी कैन कम अप विद ओरिजिनल आइडिया. So anyway, coming back to teaching styles, right? Communication, even the way you're communicating in class, that hey, use these elements, imbibe the new technology. Versus in India, I think now I don't know what's happening in schools, and I really hope they're, bringing in this innovation
I
from
don't
the
know about
get-go.
AI, but I know that there are a lot of new courses that are being introduced.
Correct.
So I think you start somewhere.
You start somewhere,
Yeah.
and to manage a population of 2 billion is also not easy.
Absolutely.
And there, that individual touch anyway goes for a toss. So everything, every economy, every country has their own limitations, right? So I feel, and also nobody can refute the fact that Indians are by far the smartest, or Asians are the smartest. So no matter what education system results तो produce करता है, हमें वो घिसने की आदत है, that hustling, that hard work that we do. But yeah, like I think a little more openness, flexibility in terms of accommodating different kind of um, um, interests of people.
I think that has always been a challenge. What I
Yes,
have
yeah.
observed, ki, it's literally like a very narrow lane, and you have to push and push to make it wider. And
Correct.
a lot of great people have really worked hard to pave way for like so many others.
Correct.
So yeah,
Even
let's see
things
what
like
happens.
extracurriculars, back in school, like if you're really talking about like school and education system, right? Like I remember I used to be really good at music and, debating and writing, but I was also topper of the class. So if I'm bunking and going for music class, it was shamed. I used to get scolded, or I'd get a red card that, oh, she bunked the class because she wanted to attend a music. But what if my aptitude lies there?
Yeah.
That is
What if you were
also-
interested in music?
What if, I mean, doctor, engineer, and, a lawyer are not the end goals, which has changed quite a
Yeah,
bit.
which has.
Rapidly, but we're still talking about the urban population of India. Bharat mein kya ho raha hai? There are many
Okay.
Indias within India, right?
So I mean, coming back to fashion, because I think we have drifted too much from fashion. So coming to Bharat, so the Olympic fashion is really in conversation, especially on Instagram, and a lot of content creators are making reels on how like what India has done is really not good, and there are other countries who have worked way harder to bring out their art and culture and craft. So I'll tell you what India has done, and then you tell me what you think about it, okay? Because हमने भारत की इतनी बात कर ली है अभी.
हाँ,
Yeah.
बताओ.
Yeah. So what they've done is that there's obviously a tiranga, and there's this red, green, white, and blue moment. Of course, that has to be there. But like on the paneling, so ikat is like a craft, okay, like an Indian craft. What they have done is that they have printed it. Okay, instead of getting
Oh,
like it on
really?
real cotton or whatever, like
Ikat,
the material.
the original ikat is like double riv.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it is
yeah.
done from woven from one side, and then the woven from other side to
Exactly.
make it original,
Yeah.
authentic ikat.
So instead of that,
Single ikat bhi nahi hai.
they've just
It's
printed it, okay?
Oh my God.
And people are just going crazy. This is our craft. How can they just print it? And what is this nonsense? Okay. That's like an ongoing debate. And like also the materials that they've used are not so sustainable and everything, because we were just talking a lot on sustainability. So what do you think of this kind of situation?
I think it's a bit of a shame, for the lack of better this thing. We're always trying to champion crafts, textiles. That's one thing that India is very proudly so rich with, right? Like plethora of heritage, culture, crafts. And कोई कमी नहीं है, थोड़ा employment ही दे दो. There's so many artisans who are, willing to and beautifully skilled at, doing this, right? I haven't honestly personally seen, so my bad. I think I've just seen like while scrolling on Instagram some sari which has some tricolor something, but that's a very faint memory of, it's a little bit of a blur from what you tell me. If it's actually printed ikat, then it's not representing, where we come from. Either don't do it, or if you want to do it and inculcate a craft which looks like a craft, then go the authentic way, right? That would be, you know, practice what you preach. अगर हम इतना preach करते हैं, oh, India so culturally rich, so that should have been done.
Okay, so you teach a lot of consumer psychology. So I'll ask you two interesting questions. Firstly,
Interesting questions. Ready.
interesting questions, yeah. So firstly, like on a lighter note, has a student ever asked you something interesting which is like really imprinted in your mind? Ki, wow, this was some out of the blue question.
Many people come with very interesting questions, but you just mentioned wedding. So, uske related, there's a question that comes to my mind. There's an Italian girl in my class, I think late 20s, very fashionable and like super smart. Post one of the sessions, she was walking out with me, and we happened to catch up, and she looks at me and she's like, this is really funny. She's like, why do Indian weddings have more people than a music festival in the US? Like literally. And I'm sorry, this is not how she said it. Like, I don't know how to imitate her. She had that little Italian, accent to it. And then I'm like, bro, मैं बताती हूँ तुझे, ठीक है? But yeah, I think that was one of the really funny questions that came, because it is true, right? We as Indians believe in having a tribe. There is no idea of individualistic society. We want to live as a collectivist society, and that is what coming to psychological, aspects of how that affects our consumption patterns within fashion specifically. Is that we are constantly saving every rupee to splurge on that one big day.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not how most economies are working, right? So the Asian, specifically the Indian economy, is very uniquely built in the sense that the motivation is driven by the idea of showing status, right? Which, if I really have to get into a little bit of psychology, the basic psychological Maslow's law of hierarchy of needs, एक ट्रायंगल है जिसमें सबसे बॉटम में आता है साइकोलॉजिकल नीड्स एंड सबसे टॉप पे आता है सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन. ठीक है, जो बना है which is basically the basis of how a consumer is supposed to behave in a particular given environment. But when it comes to India specifically, I think the cultural fabric is so uniquely made, that that we want to showcase status more than anything else. That's how we're spending 10x to 20x of our annual income on a wedding, right? Which again comes back to Badai Ho. I remember I watched that movie Badai Ho. Shayad tujhe bhi yaad ho. And small town setting hai, that one relative goes to another relative and वो बोलता है, अरे क्या शानदार शादी कर रहे हो आप, एंड he's like, और कमाते किसके लिए हैं, who is the father of the bride.
Yeah.
That's the mindset, right? कि हमने I constantly feel like there is a CFO and a CMO in our minds. हाँ, तो CMO is always thinking emotionally, right? कि अच्छा, this is what I like, this is what's been branded to me. And CFO always wants to optimize for utility, right? And in that intersection,
शादी में सब गायब हो जाते हैं. No CFO, no CMO.
India typically is driven by the mindset of a CFO. We want to save every penny through every coupon, right? But when it comes to the idea of a wedding, because it's attached to the idea of belonging to a tribe, showing that status, right? If you see, most of the higher gross margin products are placed in a living room. Huh? And bedroom could be okay, a bathroom could be okay. But if somebody is entering, that guest has to see that flamboyance, that whole, that status that, we again come back to. And another interesting thing that happens is, I feel the value of time doesn't exist, you know, because do we ever, most Indians, even if they're making 2 lakh rupees per annum or 2 crores per annum, we hardly ever get paid per hour, right? तो हमें अपनी hourly value नहीं पता है.
Yeah, actually, people outside charge per hour.
Per hour. That's also the reason, IST is joked about. Huh? Indian standard time is usually supposed to be very accommodating and flexible. Why? Because we don't understand and we don't optimize for productivity, right? हमें 2,000 रुपये बच रहा है अगर एक आउटफिट के डिस्काउंट पे, तो हम वो लाइन में लगेंगे 1 घंटा. But what if we actually calculate and see that, hey, I am earning 10,000 rupees per hour if I do the math. But that mindset, no, I want to save that 2,000 bucks on a discount queuing up, which is very different from how a Western or, anywhere outside India, that psychological perception of how we do things, right? Even with things like nepotism, it's like,
Yeah.
I think it's a function of trust, right? Those 80% of, the revenue that Bollywood drives is through those 15 big people and their families and, the surrounding people around them. That's very similar when it comes to fashion as well. The Tatas, the Reliance and the Aditya Birlas are the conglomerates who are acquiring the brands, and they are becoming bigger and fatter, and they are providing to the audiences a larger products, conglomerate and aggregation of products. What they're essentially doing is that now there's a level of trust that I have in a Manish Malhotra, say, for example, or in another smaller brand, which is now giving me a side product as well. So, if they've launched outfits, now they've launched, your shoe wear, they've launched
They have multiple
bags,
things, jewelry,
right.
home decor, everything.
So there might be beautiful other brands which I can see and access, but I will go back to that one brand because there is that level of familiarity and trust that I have. So I think trust as a function also is very, very humongous when it comes to wedding spends, when it comes to the Indian mentality of how we spend our money, specifically when it comes to fashion. And this is also nepotism, in its own way, right? है ना?
No comments on nepotism from my end, but yeah.
So yeah.
So got it. So this is why Indian people love to do a lot of kharcha on weddings.
Weddings, and otherwise they want to save every 1 rupee. जहाँ से बच जाए, Swiggy पे ये हमें बच रहा है, and we're shopping on the Nikas of the world to save every penny possible, only to collect it and then make an emotional big spending on that one big day, right?
But in today's time when divorce has become such a common practice, and I mean it's okay because if something is not working out, it's not working out.
So I think it's
And,
great. It's very empowering. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it's such a waste when you spend so much on a wedding and then it amounts to nothing in the end. So you're like, okay, you're in a situation where you're like, oh my God, what did I just do with all my money?
Yeah, I think, that now this conversation is going in a very, शादी करनी चाहिए या नहीं करनी चाहिए.
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
let's not go
But
there.
we don't
That
want
is
to go there. But
totally
yeah, coming back to
personal.
the aspect of so much money has been spent, and 90% of those people who are spending this kind of money don't even have that kind of money to spend.
Yeah.
That's the reality of things. A lot of people who are actually, sending their kids outside, making an emotional decision because status, so we will spend on our kids' education and send them to, a very expensive college in the US. Those kids are actually sending remittances back home, to take care of their family. And let alone, having that kind of money to spend on a big wedding. So if once you've made that expenditure, it's very stupid then, to go back on it. But
actually talking about Gen Zs, they are, I think, quite minimal in comparison. And I believe that this thing of showing off in this status is actually kind of diminishing. That's what I'm seeing. Because they are chill, okay? Even if they go on I was seeing a reel where people were asking what would you wear on a first date? And they were asking it from Gen Zs. So they were like, yeah, whatever's comfortable, like a t-shirt and a pant or whatever. But earlier it used to be like, no, I'll dress up properly. I'll, I'm sure people still dress up. But I think it's slightly changing. And we see a lot of intimate and minimalist weddings as well these days. So
Absolutely. And I think
yeah.
underconsumption within fashion is trending, and it should trend a lot more. Like you very rightly said, Gen Z is championing that. And, वो आ रहे अपने उस पे कि if see they can't afford a lot of sustainable products because there's a certain value
Yeah.
that comes along with making something very sustainably, ethically, and rightfully, with a lot of purpose. But talking about it, having discourse is also first a great point, right? Thrifting, reselling, ये सब काफी चल रहा है. We see a lot of like Instagram pages reselling. A lot of thrift shops are coming within India. And I see a lot of Gen Z very proudly, kind of embracing those trends of underconsumption, of reusing. And even when it comes to first dates, I think pehle wo idea hota tha, I want to wear the most uncomfortable thing in my wardrobe.
Yeah, but now you want to
Right?
be really
Now you
comfortable.
want to be really comfortable. Like today I've come here, like I think when I was myself 24, 25, I would be like, oh, I'm going to go in 6 inches heels and probably like a short dress where I'm going to be constantly like conscious of what I'm wearing, and uncomfortable. But you can be fashion is, very, that's the beauty of what fashion is. It's ever changing. It's extremely personal. What
Yeah.
fashion might mean to me will mean differently to each person, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, lovely. So that's it for our class with Gursakhi
Class.
Logani
Class.
at India Today
Damn
podcast.
it.
Okay, not at London College of Fashion, but I wish we were in London. But anyway, okay, so we play like a little game at the end, and you just have to be quick about it, okay?
One word or one sentence?
Your choice.
My choice.
Your
Okay.
choice. Okay. Okay.
Ready.
From ready,
I
are
am
you ready?
Ready.
Okay. From some of the new quirky releases, would you carry the Hoof Boots by Alexander McQueen, a ketchup bag by Kate Spade, or wear the almost distorted, washed out shoes from Balenciaga?
I think I could carry all three of them
All
because
three.
I'm just
Okay.
that person. But if I had to pick my favorite Kate Spade ketchup bag, oh my God, I
Okay.
love it.
Nice. I'm not a ketchup girl, I'm a mustard girl. So
Oh.
if they make that version, then sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kate
Okay.
Spade, are you listening?
Kate Spade,
She
listen to
has
me.
died. But the brand needs
I have
to listen.
diet issues. Okay, fine. If you could swap lives with somebody in fashion that you look up to, who would it be?
No one.
No one?
I don't really look up to any particular person within.
If you want to swap lives with anyone, who would it be?
Shah Rukh Khan.
Okay, fine. If you were given an opportunity to be the creative director of a brand, which one would you choose?
I think I'd like to be the creative director of Sakhi Lugani, the brand. Yeah,
Okay,
very happy trying to build that brand.
Nice. This reminds me. So, we all know what Joe Biden did recently, right? And I think he also championed Kamala for like the
Yeah,
position.
that news literally came out today morning.
Yeah, that came out today morning. So, along with that news, I think there's a fake thing circulating. I don't know if it's very fake or if it's real, but it said that he has written that, the house of Chanel needs me more. And that's why I'm doing.
I'm sure that's definitely a meme, first of all. Second of all,
know.
I really need to sharpen my doom scrolling skills because I haven't come across
But do
this.
you think he would be good for Chanel?
No, most definitely not. I think he's
fine.
just okay with where he should retire, chill, and exit the White House and just like, retire and like live a happy life.
Travel a lot.
Travel a lot.
Okay. If you could spend all your time doing something, how would you utilize your time?
Reading books.
Okay, what's the current book that you're reading?
I just finished reading Kubra Seth's book, The
Okay.
Open Book. It's a memoir about her life and it's extremely beautiful.
I think it released a while back, right?
It released 2 years ago, but
Yeah.
she's going to be a guest on my podcast. So
Oh, nice.
because of that, I wanted to kind of like dig deeper, and I had not read the book. So yeah.
Okay, lovely. Any advice you would like to give to your younger self?
Many.
Just if you had to just give one. Anything that you first thought of.
I think I would just tell her, yeah, you don't need to. I don't know, man. Like, there's so much I would tell my younger self. You know, you've literally like touched my this thing. A lot of people ask me this question, but I choose not to answer because itna sab kuch hai, you know. But I think I would tell her that, yeah, don't be scared of being scared, man. And I think if I really had to put it together, that's what I'd say.
That's how we
Everything is going to
started.
be
That's how we are
okay.
ending this.
Everything is going to
Yeah.
be okay. Everything is going to be just fine. Life is going to throw so many uncertainties at you, but you're going to champion them all. And even if you don't, you're going to learn some, you're going to lose some. You know, I just give her hope. You know, I think, yeah, I was very harsh on myself as a child.
I think we all are
We
at
all
some
are,
point.
yeah.
Anyway, so that was it
Oh.
from us. And how was your experience talking to me?
Oh, very, very cool. I think I have been following you for some time now on Instagram.
Yay.
So I had a little bit of an idea of what this, you know, the way you know, have kind of communicate. And um, I didn't know you were Gen Z. Now I've realized you're Gen Z, but I think you're extremely mature with the way you're
Thank you.
asking, with the kind of knowledge that you come with. So yeah, it was really fun and some really good questions.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking to you a lot. Got to
Eh.
learn a lot from your school. In this class.
Listen,
I mean.
are you bullying me by saying that I
No.
sound like a teacher? Do I sound like a teacher?
You are a cool teacher, new
Cool.
age teacher.
Cool.
Yes.
How cool? On a
Only
scale of 1 to
millennials
10.
do this.
Listen, if
Okay.
anybody who knows me, I make anybody who meets me do this. So you have to do this with me now. Looking at the cameras. No, like with your tongue out.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
come
doing
on, come
that.
on, come on. Priyanka,
What
it's
the
my
hell?
episode.
Okay, man.
Yeah, high five.
Okay, high five. Okay, so that's it from us. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any suggestions or comments, of course, you can, put that in the comment box below. But you can also text us on 8588 I always mess this number up. And you can email us on pods@indiatoday.com. Thank you. Bye.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, subscribe, comment, do everything. Bye.